Good morning, one and all. Did I say good? It wasn't, was it? What can I say? Everything's going wrong this morning, so please bear with us. We're going to start in a while, but let's at least try and get it going, shall we? Fingers crossed. This is LTIDtv. Good morning.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
A wise man once said, go to bed, sleep on things, it'll all seem better in the morning. I feel like I want to shoot him because I don't know who said that, because, oh my God. How he's got to go, hasn't he? He has got to go. I can't say anything else. This is my website. This is what I wrote yesterday. Rodgers must go and go now. 22 goals conceded after 7 games is the worst record after that number of games in Premier League history. You've got us another record, Brendan. You've got us another record. And I just... How many points did Derby go down with? Was it 11? I don't... Are we going to get into double figures? And the worrying thing is, right, is that the next 5 games, and no disrespect to those teams, but they are winnable. And I'm sure, just as much as they look at us and go, you know what, these are winnable. But will we win them with Rodgers in? That's the worrying thing. I don't know if we keep Rodgers, I don't know if we will win them. And that is so scary. That is so scary. It's a new show this morning. Brad's in a minute. I'm just waiting for the thumbs up from him, and we will be ready to go. We're going to try something new. Like I say, everything's kind of going a little bit boob up this morning. So this is let me show you. This is where you can
watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform, or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. Broadcasting live worldwide.
Indeed, you can also get us on our new music and radio show, Leicester Till I Die Radio, the ultimate blend of sport and music. Yet find us at mixcloud.com/LTID radio. Mixcloud.com/LTID radio. You have to sort of follow me, but it's free, nothing to download, don't worry. Let's go through some messages because there's a lot in. As I say, we did the post-match show last night, so this is new. And we're going to be looking, as I say, very much at the tactics of the game. So we're basically taking Brad's board and making that bigger and hopefully more modern. That's the plan. Now, whether this is the real or not. I don't think it will be, in fairness, but he is speaking like it is him. So if it is you, Fabrizio, I apologise. I do know sort of the phraseology you work because we talk on email and what have you. Good morning, my friend. Exclusive says Brendan Rodgers believes he can turn this bad form around. No. Please not. Lennon Bradley, hello, Rogers in. Are you a Forest fan, Lennon, by any chance? It worries me. It worries me. Mike is in. Good morning, Mike. Hope you're well as much as you can be. And Lisa says there, please do like and share it. Please click that subscribe button, and please, if you have subscribed, smash the like button as well. Let's see how Brad talks through these goals. Exactly. Mike, no worries, Chris. You've got a letter. I have. That's why I was late. I've got a letter off my mother. Gray's in. Good morning, Gray. How are you feeling? Any better? Yeah, I'm not. I don't know about you. I'm really not. Niall's in. Good morning, Niall. I hope you are well too. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna start following Motherwell, aren't I? Facebook user too late with the subs, energy levels dropping, and they make changes with nothing till it was too late. Poor coaching. Yeah, we had a good bit of time in the first half when I thought we were very, very good, and I was actually quite impressed and thought, oh, this is the Leicester I want to see. But yeah, indeed, he off in 87 minutes. What the F? And we still had 2 subs left that weren't used. True Red. Golden Chris, it's embarrassing at the moment, maybe from your side rather than mine right now. This game for us both after the international break is a massive 6-pointer already. Yeah, true, Ed. You're right. I mean, all right, let's take banter aside. We'll take the banter aside because obviously you're a Forest fan, and welcome along, mate. Welcome along. You've obviously not had a very good start. And I don't think there's well, there is pressure on you because you spent a lot of money. And I know why you've bought so many players, because obviously you had so many on loan last season. But I believe that's what I say. I'm not a Forest fan, obviously, so I don't know. That's what I'm led to believe. However, I think the fact that we're doing so badly is taking the pressure off you a little bit. It was like when Bournemouth got promoted the season we won the Premier League. There was no pressure on them because all the story was about Leicester. Could we go down? Yes, we could. We're not too good to. No team is too good to go down. You're right, mate. It is a real 6-pointer. And we'll have to obviously get together before that and do the preview. And I think we'll both be wearing black that day. But thanks for joining us, mate. It is a real. I am worried. I've got to be totally honest with you. I am worried about playing Nottingham Forest. Oh, they went down with 9. I thought they went down with 11. 9. Well, where are we going to get 8 points from? Niall, Chris, he needs to go, mate. I watched the full game in the boozer. I'll tell you what, I wish I had, because it might have nulled my senses. His time's up. His coach is on the shaky nail. Has enough chances, mate. I feel you're paid. Enough's enough before it's too late. Exactly. Because, as I say, and no disrespect to Forest and no disrespect to the other teams, because then I say they will be looking at us and going, God, we've got Leicester next. This is great, 8 games and they're not even, 7 games, and they've not even come back from one yet, So, yeah, let's get them while they're down. So I get it. But if we keep him, are we going to get anything from those games? Bring another manager in. Can't do any worse. And we're going to have I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a look at some next manager odds in a minute. If my system has worked, and it appears to have done. Mike and Niall are having a chat there. 9 or 11. I don't know whether we can actually meet that. True Red. But yeah, it is a bit funny, isn't it? Funny until, as long as you and us get 12, 13 points, it won't be so bad. Forest will beat us. I think they will. It was 11 apparently. Yeah, come on, Mike. One job. What we'll do is when I've gone through the chats, I will go through the next manager odds with Brad. If Brad gives me a thumbs up if he's ready to go, yes, he is. So yeah, I hadn't seen that before. Mr. Post-match show, Chris. To be honest with you, it was an hour and a half of me, Brad, and David all swearing. So and, that's all it was basically. If it goes, Chris, would you take Dyche? Dan's former manager. Yes. I actually at this point I would. Absolutely gutted, Chris. Doug's in. Welcome. How the devil are you, sir? Thank you for joining us, and thank you for having to sit through that. Well, from a neutral's point of view, it wasn't dross, but thank you for holding my hand through that 90 minutes yesterday. It was you were my good Samaritan. You've woken up with the cold. Well, there's so many things I could say to that, but I've got to remember that this is the morning. This isn't 9 o'clock at night, and everybody's saying hello to everybody else. It is cold, actually. It is cold. Facebook user, the situation worries me, but I believe the players need to start looking at themselves. We asked for Rodgers to walk, but never the players. No, and we never will, because where are we going to get the money to replace 11 players minimum? If that's what we're saying, the manager, he is paid and paid very well. Not the 10 million that people are claiming, but he's paid very well. The book has to stop with him. It's as simple. And I've been a sales manager in charge of a team. If we had a bad week, I got the bollocking. Then it was up to me to go and bollock if needed, the team, or explain why. The book stops with the manager / coach. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I was led to believe it was more. Sorry. Okay, fair point to you. Leicester get battered everywhere we go. We do. We went out for a fish and chip takeaway, we'd get battered. If you go down, mate, can you see your better players leaving? Well, there's a lot of players up contract at the end of the season. There's a lot of players are out. Tactically, it's shite. His timing for Salt was a joke. Didn't see any point in making changes in the game. Your game or my game, mate? But I agree. If you're talking about Rodgers, yes, he is shite. Gravelled voice, Dyche would keep us up. Sorry, Brad, I'm not going to be 2 seconds now. Was watching Aldershot against Halifax yesterday. To be honest with you, it was probably a better game than either of ours. Well, having said that, you were Friday, of course. Why does Rodgers have to ask the players to be brave? They should do that for the club, indeed. And final one at this point. At least it's an international break next week. You don't have to watch Leicester losing. We don't, and it gives us 2 weeks to get a new manager in. I don't see what a new manager can change but the players might respond to the new manager. We've said this, that things get stale. And if like I say, when I was a manager, if I cannot get a tune out of my team, I would go, somebody else would come in, fresh ideas, fresh tactics, fresh whatever, and it changes it round. Like Rodgers at Celtic, he can't handle pressure very well. Brad, thank you so much for being patient, mate. It's a very red Brad. Good morning, sir.
I know, but I would blind you all if I let the sunlight in. It's ridiculous where it is, and
that's okay, mate. No, don't worry at all. I didn't know whether that is that, or whether the fact that you were just so angry that your face was gone red.
Might possibly still be a permanent red colour, mate. That might still be the case.
But okay, well, let's have a look. And we did. And sorry, thank you for waiting there. There was more points, and hopefully, as they did give you a chance to hopefully sort things out at your end. But let's have a look at this, shall we?
Oh yes.
Next manager odds. Let's get straight. Let's do the elephant in the room first, because obviously this is the tactic show and we're going to be doing a long look at tactics, I am sure. There'll be a lot to talk about. But let's just have a look at these odds. And we were joking about a few names before we came live, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we found that they were on this system. I mean, some of them obviously, absolutely, they're just put on there to wind people up, I think. And that's not the full list. There is actually a longer list than that. But I'm going to try and find it now. Sean Dyche, 2-1 favourite. I actually choked on my drink when Ant suggested that a few weeks ago, but now,
now, and it says that when you're saying "but now," doesn't it? It doesn't sound great, but
no,
he'd be a good appointment in terms of the situation in the club. And I know saying would a new manager do anything? Well. See, there's a lot of players in there, and we've got 4 or 5 that won't be here next year unless they sign extensions. And even then, that guarantees nothing in this world, does it? But, you see these players that want a new lease of life at the club, like Samore, like Pratt, like maybe Mendy, and maybe someone that's not going to keep playing his favourites. Sean Dyche will iron that out. He'll go, "Oi, you! Get in the under 23s unless you're going to stay here. I want him playing because he wants to play for me." And he'll do that. And that's my best Sean Dyche impression there. He will do that. And he will go to a Dennis Pratt, and he will go to a Samora going, "I like you. You want to play for this club? I'm going to play you." And that's what we need. We need someone who's going to give that 25-man squad the opportunity. Because
you know what? I mean, years ago, he was linked with us with every managerial change, and I always went, no. Even then, though, I actually did consider it. But when I've looked at some of his interviews recently, when it's been 1-to-1, he actually speaks a lot of sense. He said the other day that on an interview that he told these new owners that when they were first asking a while ago, he's got 3 years to catch up on. He's had the same team, a bit like Leicester, and that it had 3 years. But he also said, and I thought this was very, very telling. He said, "I did what I did with the players I had." He said, I hadn't got technically gifted players, and I could therefore not play it a different way. So maybe if he came in, and no disrespect to Burnley, but I think our squad at the moment is probably better than the squad that he left at Burnley. He again might be able to do something.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always look at these managers that do well with, misfits thrown together, or Burnley, a case of shoestring budget, as he infamously liked to remind us of whether they won or lost. He was always remind us that he was done on a shoestring budget. And you look at Eddie Howe. All right, he's been given the jackpot of dreams. Really, he couldn't have asked for a better thing. I mean, there's a difference between managing a team that's that's better than the crop of Burnley players, and then managing your cheat code on FIFA and being able to spend whatever money you want on players. He's been given like the free demo on it, hasn't he, with all the cheats and hacks on with Newcastle. But it would be interesting. This could be the perfect opportunity for a Sean Dyche for the next 2 or 3 years to show what he's capable of doing when he's got the better quality players, when he's got a bit of money to spend. All right now that's not the case, but he's used to that.
Yes.
And B, like we said, the upgrading players, he'd be able to prove himself.
I've said many times, I think you probably have as well, can Poch do it at a Rochdale? Could Mourinho do it at a Oldham? Could Pep do it, at a Bolton? The other way round, and we always say this, could Sean Dyche do it with money? If he had the players, could Eddie Howe? It had always worked on a shoestring. We're going to find out now. But I suppose they've got to be given the chance. This is going round a lot that Leicester are interested in Thomas Frank, and he's second there at 4-1. and he's a good manager, and I wouldn't argue with him either. And I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I don't think he'd leave Brentford. Do you?
Brighton fans thought that about Potter, and he's soon
Well,
swiftly
yes, very good
on
point.
merry-go-round.
Yes.
So I wouldn't rule it out either. I mean, football's
I suppose if a new manager was to come in and he looked at Leicester as a project, stadium expansion, this whole new football city thing that we've got with hotels and shops and houses and cinemas and whatever, and you look at that and you think, wow.
Yeah, and again, if you look at it that way, which whoever comes in will be looking at, like, I'm sure they will. They'll be looking at going, if I can be here for 3 years and I can do a decent enough job, A, I might be here beyond that, and B, I'm gonna, if I can be the guy that was known as, say, when everybody looks back in 10 years' time and looks at where Leicester are with this stadium and their surrounding ground and how they've gone, I want to be that manager that they talk about going, oh, well, it was thanks to me who came in when Leicester were at dire need and 20, it writes its own story. Imagine me being the manager that came in and saved them from a crisis. They were 20th. And then Thomas Frank became the manager and saved Leicester and guided them back up to the top, and that's what these managers will look at. And the same for the rest on these links. I mean, what I will say as well is whether you want these guys in as Leicester managers or not, there's one just below the guy next on the list that I wouldn't want here because I didn't rate him as a manager. But what we have to do is, regardless of whether we want them as our manager or not, if they are made manager, we have to give them the backing.
Oh, yes. But I mean, you've got to come in and go, which of these managers can do it? Yeah. In our current situation, we can't go and say, give them a manager and say, like, you're going to be able to spend this much in January. There's no war chest there. We know that. And it's FFP. It's not that we're going out of business. It is FFP. And I am so fed up with saying that in the Facebook group where people go in like, why are we spending all this money on the stadium when we haven't got my place? It's a different pot we're pissing out of. You know what I mean? It is FFP. Now, could Sean Dyche handle that? Yes, he could. Could Thomas Frank handle that? And maybe you get the money maybe, in a season or two. Yes, he could. Could Pochettino? I'm not so sure.
He's the only manager that ever has, mate, in the Premiership. Spurs went 18 months without a signing.
Yeah. No, exactly. Good point. But you see the point I'm getting
at? I do, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
again, with Pochettino, you've got to remember his Southampton days. He likes the youth. He was forced at Southampton to sell the youth because that's how Liverpool B, when he was manager of Liverpool's B side back in the day, he was a very good advocate of youth. I know he's an old granddad in football terms now, but Lallana came through at Southampton and players like that came through at Southampton, and that would probably fit the protocol more. Now, he's unemployed, so there's no pay in PSG because he's unemployed. Yes, his wages would probably keep him up there as one of the high earners, but I'd be very, very interested in Pochettino. He likes a project. He likes to get his hands dirty. He's not afraid to give the youth a chance. I think he fits the mentor the most perfect to anybody on this list. Yeah. The guy we'll get onto next if you're going to talk about Bielsa. No. He's a fraud of a manager, and I'm
going to go down the list here very, very quickly because those are them. To me, those are probably the main three. In fairness, I would love Pochettino. I agree with absolutely everything you said there about him. To me, he is almost a Rodgers Mark II upgraded, if you like, because like you said, he's got that youth to the project exactly. Bielsa, my God, no. I'm not saying that he wouldn't keep us up because, again, he would put fire in the belly possibly. But moving forward, would you want to let Bielsa free with them? No, I wouldn't.
No, he's a lazy fraud. He couldn't be bothered to learn the language.
He couldn't even be bothered not to stand up at a match yet to have a bucket.
Yeah, and he plays one way. And look at Leeds' results; they were embarrassing. So, they played really good football. Yeah, they also lost 17-1 against Manchester United when they had Ollie at the wheel. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't want that here. It's ridiculous style of manager. It's actually fraudulent that people think he's a great tactician, because he's not. He's an absolute fat fraud.
No. Very quickly on this one, because like I said, we've already done Poch, but Brad Scott says, Brad, you said Pochettino, however, every time people have mentioned bringing in youth players in rather than spending, you've sold wrong way. You've said wrong way to go about things. I think what you're saying, Brad, as well, what I am saying is, I have nothing wrong with bringing youth players through, but only they've got to be better than what they're going to be replacing.
Yeah, and I just want to say that onto Scott just quickly, if you don't mind me quickly just answer Scott questions. What I mean is bring players through that are ready, but some of you are asking for Iverson, Brun, the striker. You're asking for the entirety. Some of you are demanding the entirety of the under 23s come through. No, the reason we've had so much success with Ben Chilwell's, Luke Thomas's, KDH's, and Harvey Barnes's, mate, is because we brought them through rightly. We've brought them through at the right point. We've done the necessary steps where you flux them into the first team so they can gain the experience. You send them out on loan and you up that level with each season at the pass, and then you get them in. Some of you asking for Brunt, Iverson, and God knows what else in our under 23s to suddenly start replacing the likes of Evans, Ward, and bloody KDH and Yuri and Vardy. That's what I mean. Bring up a youth player, get 2 or 3 on that bench, let them experience it this season, chuck them on in cup games. I'm all for that, Scott. I just think you've got to manage how you do it, because you don't want to destroy their confidence. It's management.
Look at Thomas. I mean, he came through, he burst through. Maybe it was too soon for him.
Well, it was. He played because of injury, didn't he?
Well, let's just quickly run through these. Let's just go with a yes or no, first of all. Daniel Farker, 9-1, but apparently he's doing very well at Borussia Mönchengladbach. I wouldn't for him.
No.
Rafa Benitez. No, I think I'd have to say no.
On an 18-month contract, 2 years, yeah. Anything longer than that, no. I wouldn't mind him for a power push for a year or 2. I wouldn't mind him.
Yes, as you saw from my, I wasn't sure. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no.
No.
I'm not 100%. He had the big names at Man United, and you could argue that he did well at the beginning, but he had he had the really big names, didn't he? To be fair,
yeah, and he probably has about 20 leaders at Old Trafford. He's probably got 1 or 2 here, and I think he needed that.
True Red's in still, and we're going to come to Steve Cooper. Now, I like Steve Cooper, but I'm not sure just at the moment. He is a good manager, I think. Just to see, I knew he'd come in with this one. Steve Cooper, get lost, he's Super Cooper. Cooper Man, for those of you that are old like me. I think he's got a project at Forest. He is a good manager, for what he's done at Forest and where he took them and how quickly he took them there. But it's a bit like I was saying with Potter a few years ago. Now, obviously, he's gone to Chelsea, so well done to him, proving me wrong again. But I just think it's too soon for Cooper. I
mean, first of all, Steve Cooper, he's got a face only a mother could love, hasn't he?
Well, yes.
But no, I agree with you. I said the same about Potter with Brighton. I kind of think the same with Thomas Frank at Brentford. Leave them alone. Leave them to their projects. We moan at these bigger clubs coming in and trying to steal our players, stealing our staff, and steal our manager and whatnot when things are going well. Obviously, not right now. I mean, steal our manager all you like, but leave him alone. Let him prove himself. Let him integrate himself. Let him try and keep Forest up. Hopefully, fail. Sorry to the Red, but just for rivalry's sake, I have to get that little thing in there. But no, I do. I honestly do hope he succeeds. But no, stay at Forest. Do well.
Dean Smith, that'd be a definite yes from me.
No, don't rate him.
Okay. Nathan Jones, where's he at?
Hey, you've missed out 2 big names on here.
No, I didn't. I missed them out on purpose.
Oh, good, because we know their nose. All right, okay, that's good. Who?
Well, they are to me.
Yeah, they are to me as well, to be honest with you. Scott Parker's not worth the 2,000 jacket he wears, and Nathan Jones.
I think Roy Hodgson.
Yeah,
Well,
I think he's in his old folks' home. I think he's got the
yes. Nathan Jones, where's he at?
I don't know, who is he?
Oh, Luton, Mike. Thank you very much. You always rely on Mike.
No, keep him there. He's doing well. The Hatters are having a good season. In fact, if Dan's in the chat, he'll be happy because they beat Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
So no, keep him there. Dan can parade him on an open tour bus for beating Blackburn.
Casper Humeland.
You're out of my range of jurisdiction with some of these.
I don't know. No, Lucian Favre. I've heard. Was
he the Leipzig manager? I think he might.
I'm sure Matt will. Sure Matt will. Sorry, Mike will come on. And Doug as well. Denmark manager Casper Humeland apparently.
No, leave him to his international job. Yeah. He's clearly. Sometimes you get a manager that is an international manager. I mean, look at Mr. Scratch Me Ball, Sniff Me Arse, and then Sniff Me Finger. That Joe Chimlowit. Joe, whatever. Leave him as well. Don't want him on the list. He's a weirdo, isn't he? He is a weirdo.
Claudio Ranieri. Just remember how he left us. Once he was given control, I love him for what he did, but once he was given control, as it always does with him, not just at Leicester, every club he's been at, and they said this before he came to Leicester, he'll do well for you for a season, and then it'll go. And it did. So I wouldn't want him back.
No.
I'm just picking out some of the main names here, otherwise we'll be here till God knows when. Ralph Huthenthal, 20-1. No, I wouldn't say no.
I would.
Okay, fair enough. John Terry,
no, he'll be sleeping with the wives.
Yeah. Thomas Tuchel, we talked about.
Never ever going to happen. But yes, please.
Yes, yeah. Claude Puel.
I'm going. I'm leaving. How do I leave the stream? That name sends shivers down my spine. I hate it.
You know what? I looked at this earlier, and I don't know whether this is how bad things are, but I actually looked at it and went,
I know, but mate, come on, right? We clearly seen with Rodgers over the last 8 months that we can't play the boring, slow, backwards pass game, and that's exactly what he built the foundations on. So it wouldn't work, would it? If he came back.
Wayne Rooney, would you leave America? He isn't going to come to Leicester. This is Betfair, in fairness, that have done this, and he's going to come to a club where his wife's worst. Yeah, he's going to come to a club where his wife's worst enemy at the club. No. Martin O'Neill, seriously, love the guy to bits, but he's past it.
I mean, time machine and bringing back from the 90s, O'Neill, yeah, definitely 100%. But yeah,
you know. And then we've got Graham Potter at 40-1. He's going to leave Chelsea for us. But for fuck's sake. And this isn't a bad shout. If you've got an odd pound here, Duncan Ferguson, 66-1.
No. Never in a million years. Never in a million. He's awful. He's bog standard League One manager at best. There's a reason, I think, and I could be wrong here, there's a reason he's been Peterborough manager about 4 times because it's the only club that love him. He's crap. He's awful.
Is it that Duncan Ferguson, or is it who was the guy from Everton?
No, Duncan Ferguson. You're thinking Barry Ferguson, maybe then. Because the Duncan Ferguson.
Alex's son who was in and out at Peterborough, but I'm sure Duncan Ferguson was the assistant manager at Everton.
Well, either way, it's a Ferguson. Fuck off. No, you're not as good as unless it's. I'd rather take an Alex Ferguson or an Arsene Wenger and get them.
Doug's just said Duncan Ferguson was interim manager. You're thinking of Darren Ferguson, Mike says.
Is that what I was thinking of? Either way, the Fergie that isn't an Alex. Off, no.
The last 2 here, and I joked about one of these before. Then when I looked right down at the bottom, I think, fucking hell, he's actually on there. Alan Pardew and Sam Allardyce, both 66-1.
Short term is a 12-month contract. Like what I said to you, didn't I? Like what West Ham did the first time round with Moyes. If you're going to offer him an end of season contract, that's your options.
Yeah.
But we also talked about managers that were appointed to certain clubs that were too big to go down and how disastrous that went. And I think that would be the route you could potentially go down if you hired an Allardyce or a
Yeah.
Pardew. But who knows? Maybe they need the ego.
Yeah. Right, quickly, let's catch up with all the chat, and then we'll have a look at Brendan's post-match conference, and then Brad will hopefully show us how his new toy works.
We'll see.
Yeah, Niall, if you do go down, can you see your better players leaving? I mean, there's so many that are in the last year of the contract anyway. And yes, I've got to be honest with you, totally yes, they will, because they're bigger than that. We've just covered that one. Samuel Sean, Tielemans out of contract. Tactically shite. I think we did that one, didn't we? Was watching Aldershot. Why does Rodgers have to ask the players to be brave? They should be anyway. Quite right. Doing that one. I don't see what a new manager can change. We did do that one, didn't we? You can't handle pressure.
Are you sure you're not caught up with the comments?
Or you can take and do the Celtic manager, what a job he's doing at Celtic. I think we've got to be careful. We've got a ex-Celtic manager in. But then again, you never know. Rodgers should resign in respect of our great club, but he's greedy and wants the sack. But would you resign? I wouldn't. I'm not going to resign if I know that if they sack me, I'm going to get a nice big payoff. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you can't call him greedy for that.
Yeah. Thing is, tactically, it's Rodgers' fault, but on the pitch, he can't do anything. Yes, he can. He can make substitutions. He has 5, and he doesn't realise he has 5s. Niall, you're joking with Ollie, so we won't put that up. Thought Dyche was going to Bournemouth. Not signed and done yet. Scott saying Arsenal have named a 15-year-old on the bench. Well, if we can do it, I'm sure that will give the Arsenal fans something else to moan about.
I'll test her out. He's too young. Stop playing the youth, but we want the youth. Got some Arsenal fans.
Gray, Frank is a perfect replacement. I think that's the way that most fans, whilst yes, we probably would love Pochettino, not sure he would come. And I know what we're saying, unfinished business, likes a project, likes youth. I would love him. But I think Thomas Frank is going to be the one that might just do it. TalkSport was suggesting Eddie Howe is under pressure, even with how Newcastle are doing. Well, I think it's a pressure job. It
is. I mean, they've been getting draws and not wins. I don't know if that benefited me at all in the predictions, just throwing that out there, but they drew with Bournemouth, didn't they? So, I mean...
You did. That was you got that spot on, I think, that one.
Yeah, you got Man City spot on as well, for speaking of
which. I did. I didn't do the other games yet, I'll be honest with you. Daniel Farke is doing very well at Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, that's great. Look how well he did at Norwich in the Premiership. No, thank you, Doug. No, thank you.
Speaking of FFP, how aren't we in FFP? I don't bloody know. Exactly. Well, I don't know how you are either, but there we go.
If your 400 signings don't keep you up, you might be in FFP after
that. Rodgers is also a fraud. Fair point, Brad. Don't know what it was, but totally understand. Oh, I think I was replying to what you said. Yeah, if they play at the moment in this setup, they'll get pelted by the media if they put in a bad performance. Can't see either. I wouldn't have either. Well, I don't know. Definitely wouldn't have Ranieri back. And like I said, if he was here now, I'd have his babies. I love him that much. But no. Scott Parker, big fat no. Indeed, Doug. Rennie's in the chat. Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever. Good. How are you, Rennie? Steve Cooper just said you don't want. Ravi's in. Yo, Ravi. How the devil are you? Morning, Chris. Any chance of playing the record Go Now by the Moody Blues? Wrong channel. If you want to hear me play, in fact, I might do that. I might do a less. That's a good idea, Terry. I might do that on the radio show. Don't forget, if you want to follow the radio show, mixcloud.com, all one word, mixcloud.com/LTID radio, or go on my own website, LeicesterTillIDie.com/radio. The link is there. And we could do it. We could do a relegation special, couldn't we? Ooh.
God,
I don't know how you pronounce that. Me or Po. Get the blood glimped manager. A couple of people have actually mentioned that. Rennie wants Thomas
I mean,
Frank.
are we seriously basing, Bode Glint manager off what he did in your one season? Are we seriously basing? No, I'm all right, thanks.
Good point. As I made that point earlier. True Red. Yeah, he had a great last season where he took you to from where you were. He has done very, very well, which is the one thing that's making me think if it was, I wouldn't necessarily moan. Dean Smith, massive no. Nathan Jones did an excellent job at Luton, but we'll stay there and continue the project. And for God's sake, no, not Al. See, Allardyce, if he came, if we offered him a short term to keep us up, which he may well do, then I don't think he'd come, because he has so many times he goes to a club like Everton, other clubs where he's kept them up and then they've dropped him. Scott Parker
that'd be desperate, bottom of the barrel, or waiting on a manager who says, "Approach me next year and then I'll come to you." That's the only way you get.
We were laughing at Man United for doing that. Hey, who's laughing now?
Right.
Scott Parker will just down his players like he did at Bournemouth. Let's just go through somebody saying hello to everybody else. Now, again, this is a name that sprung up a few times. I don't think it was on that list, though, was it? Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon?
He was on there, and I was like, who is he? I don't. My foreign league knowledge goes as far as knowing the teams' names and how good they were in the 90s and mid-2000s. I don't really follow the German and Italian football and stuff like that anymore, so I don't know these managers' names.
20-1. I don't. To be, I'm the same as you. I don't know, and I respect all these fans that name these players from foreign clubs. I don't even know. Well, who could name the Nottingham Forest starting 11 at the moment? But no, joking aside, True Red. If I ever have to do a joint 11. I leave because I don't know any players from other clubs. But yeah, Ruben was 20-1. Claude Puel, the magician that got beat by Newport. I
know. Bring him in, Chris. It's genius. Bring him in, and then he can get revenge. It'll be Claude Puel episode 2, Revenge of Newport.
Yes. Martin O'Neill, too old-fashioned. And to be honest with you, very much like Cloughie. Cloughie was brilliant, great manager, should have been England manager, great manager for you. He did so well at Forest, 2 European Cups. You can't argue with it. But once Peter Taylor sadly passed away, Cloughie was never the same. And it's the same with Martin O'Neill. John Robertson passed away sadly. They were a team. It worked. Let's just blow up.
Is Arsene Wenger on that list anywhere?
He wasn't actually, no. Werner.
What about Walsh and Cotty? We could get the A team, like they wanted to do all them years ago.
I think Thomas Frank fits the mould and fits the quota of Leicester. The owners at Brentford love him and give him the resources to work with, and they would allow him to go to Leicester. Oh, and I'll wait for the second part of that. For Farmer Lot, just Barco. Sorry, Brad.
Is that YouTube that brackets someone out of 2, or was
no,
Mark ran out of words?
Mike. No, that's Mike. Write that in.
I was thinking that's quite good at YouTube to let us know that he's got more.
Yeah, but they're the type of club that will allow the manager to go somewhere else to better his own personal career, and he has some very good tactics where he can change the system during the game. 2 out of 2. Yes. I mean, some clubs are like that. In fairness to Brighton, they didn't stand in Potter's way. And they could have done.
Although they maybe feel a bit stabbed in the back because they gave him the license to thrill in the transfer market, and then he fucked right off to Chelsea. I do understand that.
Yeah. Terry, please send me a list of the songs. We could go on for ages. Yeah. Neil Warnock, I tell you what, could he do any worse? 1 point out of 7 games. He couldn't do any worse.
No, he's too old. He's too old-fashioned for me. I love him. I think he's brilliant, and some of the stories he tells, he's almost Harry Redknapp-esque, but same person again. Harry Redknapp. Both of them are just too old, too not with it. I
can nip down and knock on Harry Redknapp's door if you want. He's only down the road.
I'll gladly go to Cornwall and knock on Neil Warnock's.
I'm going to say he was in Cornwall when he went back for his last job. He's farming chickens, but he would come out for any job, Neil. And I respect the guy. I like him more now. He's not a manager and he's a pundit. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. So that is it. Shall we have a look at what Brendan had to say?
Yeah, why not?
And then after that, if you're ready with your old tactics, we'll see. But this is what Brendan said after the game. I've not seen this, to be honest with you, so this could be interesting. So let me just find the right thing. It's only a short one. Here we go.
For long periods, that didn't feel like a 6-2 game, let alone a 6-2 defeat. How do you sum it up?
Yeah, well, I'm really disappointed for the players because I thought they gave so much to the game. I thought in the first half we were the much better team. They clearly have quality, but I thought our game was very good. Second half we gave away a sloppy goal, like the two in the first half. And we're just giving away soft goals. But still, right the way through to I think it was about 73 minutes when they get the fourth, we're well in the game. Lloris makes a great save for it to go 3-3. But then we give the ball away again, and those sort of individual errors are hurting us a bit. And then they break away and score. So 4-2, generally tough. They can keep the ball, manage the game. We're trying to get something back in the game, and it opens us up in the last 10-15 minutes for the two goals. So yeah, soft goals. But I asked the players to be brave. I asked them to show courage. I asked them to take the ball. They did all those things. We pressed the game really well, won it back so many times, created opportunities. But we've conceded. We've given them a big hand, really, and conceded 4 goals tonight that we should never do.
Is in particular that first half performance, is that the blueprint for how you want Leicester to play going forward? The aggression, the bravery?
Yeah, that's everything that the team has been for a good part of my first few years. Because of changes and injuries over the last, I would say, 12 months or so, we haven't been near to that level, the fluency, because we've had to make so many changes. But that's when we're at our best, when we commit to the game, go and play with that conviction, and you see the chances that we created with it. And like I said, their goalkeepers made some great saves.
When you are on a losing run, does it feel Son hasn't scored before today and he comes on and gets a hat-trick? Is it one of those that when that's happening, those sort of things seem to happen? Yeah.
It's been a really, really challenging start. 4 of our 7 games have been away at Tottenham and Arsenal and Chelsea and Manchester United at home. So it's been a tough start for us on the back of the summer. But yeah, things go against you. But we can only look at ourselves. We've got an international break now. Got to go away and regroup, get back, and then there's a run of games between now and the World Cup that gives the team a chance to climb. And like I said, if we can cut out the goals, the soft goals, and play to the commitment and the level that we did for large parts of the game, then the team will be fine.
I imagine that the dressing room is pretty down at the moment. How do you go about picking them up for that East Midlands derby?
Well, it'll be very easy. That those types of games, you don't need to say too much, but we need to go away, reflect on it, talk about it next week, get some great work in. It's a long period now before that game. That game's on the Monday night, and there's absolutely no doubt playing to the level that we did most of the night tonight and not give away the soft goals, then we're a great chance of getting the first result.
And just finally, can speak about Fass, who it didn't look, even though Spurs scored 6 goals, it didn't look like he'd only been at the club for a couple of weeks.
No, I thought he was outstanding. Him and Johnny were great. I thought they got isolated towards the end, but no, he was excellent. First game in the Premier League, played that composure, that aggression. I thought he'd done terrific.
Well, same old, isn't it?
A little bit. There's a little bit of difference in there. It kind of puts a different light on it because the score, let's be honest, the scoreline was a bit freakish in terms of the fact that Leicester were in that game right up until the fourth goal. And I suppose when you're bottom of the league and your looks against you and you're trying so desperately to get something from this particular game, because I think this game had a lot of pressure on it, clearly, for it to happen. And it doesn't excuse the goals by any stretch of the imagination. It certainly doesn't, because I'll even though they were wonderful goals by Son, I'm going to critique every single one of them, as you know. But
it wasn't the 6-2. That's the thing.
No, if we and again, Chris, had that game ended 3-2, and the performance that, like we all asked for, had been consistent throughout the 90 minutes, and we lost that game 3-2, I think we'd be a lot. In a weird way, we'd actually be happy. Obviously, sad that we lost and gutted, but we'd be able to see light at the end of the tunnel. I just think when it's so devastating, like a 6-2, and it's on the back of a 5-2, of course, and all these horrible records, I think it piles the pressure and the misery on even more. And
yes,
I suppose when you look at it in that way, you understand it a little bit more.
To me, I said, well, I went for a 2-1 victory to Spurs.
I went for 4-1 Leicester.
You did. I did that last season, and to be honest with you, mate, it left me bottom of the prediction league. So I went for my point today, and I got a point for that. But that first half performance, and you're going to come on to it, I know, but just very briefly, that first half performance, I'm thinking, wow, okay, we 2 goals from the set piece. That needs to be looked at. The new coach has, the new set piece coach, in fairness, hasn't had time to fart really in respect of changing things. But we didn't give up. We went out. We got an equaliser. And I thought, that was, I thought, some of the best football we've played this season. Not hard, I know. And it was to me about the performance. But at the end, it was down to me like the substitutions he was making again. Changing the centre midfielder at 87 minutes. But we will come on to that with you, I am sure. But just before we do that, let me just show you this. It doesn't make very good reading, unfortunately. Look at all those reds.
I just do that. I can't see that team in 20th. I just...
yeah, exactly. Forest are there in 19th. They, as we said the other day, they've been told that nobody in Forest can actually, in Nottingham, can have dogs anymore because, of course, they can't hold on to the leads. But then again, nor can Leicester. West Ham are playing today against Everton. Oh, what I would give for a draw there. We're not at the moment cut loose.
Footloose.
But, and it's that big, huge but, isn't it? It's the how long is this going to go on for? And I just think my worry is those winnable games that are coming up, with no disrespect to those clubs, are they winnable with Rodgers in charge? I don't think they are now. Would they be winnable with somebody else, that new manager bounce, possibly? Somebody coming in with different ideas. Somebody comes in that, like you said earlier, gives Pratt and Samori and whatever the run. Possibly they would be. So that's the decision that Top's got to make.
Yes.
You see, Anthony, right, Brad, let me just answer this, because people are saying this, right? Brandon hasn't been backed, hence a lack of players. Now, I'm sorry, Anthony, and you're an Arsenal fan. You should know this. And it gets me. There's 2 things that get me annoyed at the moment. One is the total and utter criticism of Danny Ward. Right? He made a worldie save yesterday. Why do people want Everson? You know this, Brad. I'm like a broken record. Everson had 1 game against the 4th tier team that had 4 shots at our goal. 4 shots. That's how good Everson was. And yes, he saved a couple of penalties. So did Danny Ward. But Brendan hasn't been backed. Well, a good manager should be able to get the best out of the players he's got. If a manager, again, whatever industry they are in, if they are struggling with the team they've got, And they say, well, we can't. It's going to take us 4 weeks if in sales, whatever, to get somebody else in. There's nobody can come in at the moment. You've got to look at the players you've got and get the best out of those players. That's where he's going wrong. Fuck the fact that he's not bought any players.
Yeah, wrestling. Tag me in, Chris. Tag me in. There we go. Got the tag in from Chris there. Not backed, Anthony. Perez, Samore. Who else? I had 4 names in my head and they all just disappeared when I went to list them. Perez, Samore, Vestergaard, Bertrand. Do I need to go on and list any more of his signings? Wesley Fofana. I mean, that's 5. There's 5 players he backed and only one of them was successful. And that little rat swanned off to London, didn't he? So, not backed. Really? Seems backed to me because he was given 30 million to chuck away in the first month of being here. So don't come on here saying, oh, he's not been backed. Bollocks. Bobble out, Operation Bobble Out bollocks. It was backed. It was backed to make his signings. In fact, probably the fact that most of the signings were a disaster is the reason that Leicester owners are going, yeah, maybe we're not going to trust you with 50 million this season. Calm yourself. Do what you can. Show us what you can do with your signings, and maybe then we'll trust you in the Premier
League. Totally and utterly right there, mate. So I saw your finger go up. I thought, yeah, he wants to go to the loo or he wants to say something. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like I say, a good manager. Pochettino went 18 months without having been able to make any signings. Were Tottenham actually ever bottom of the league?
I don't think so. In fact, I think it was the year they went into the Champions League final throughout that period of not having a signing.
Yeah. Doug. I'm not even putting that. Is awful. That is awful. Believe it or not, I'm not actually in the mood for jokes, Doug, this morning. That 6-0 hurt us. Why is Bertrand in the 25? Because he's going to be fit before Ricardo is. And we look at it back in January, and in January, if Ricardo's fit, he might not be. I mean, Terry makes a very excellent point here. A very good, excellent point here. Danny Ward, apparently, I didn't realise this. I haven't seen it where he got save of the month. So,
I think it was
again, Danny, well done, sir. Well done. Right. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to go for a little jingle. If you want to share the screen, Brad, at your end, and then what we'll do is, and this is going to be interesting, and I think I've got the swear jar ready, but we'll be back straight after this.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester LTIDtv
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Indeed. Come on, you foxes. Do what it says there. If you're new to the channel, please press subscribe. If you are already subscribed, please press the like button. Right, okay, so Brad, let me have a look then, because I have got to. This is the first time we've done this, guys. If it goes well, it will look impressive.
Yeah, it will do, as long as I don't get an advert blocking me off what I can do. Can everybody see it? Can you see my screen?
Not yet, no, I've not put it in. Just bear with me.
Because right now I've got an annoying advert that won't. No, I'm going to have to do what I can with it. But there we go. Just let me know when I'm on screen, Chris, because I'm on the tap.
Yeah, you're on screen, mate. Go for it now. You just put your number 1 in the bottom left.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. At least you can see it. Well, let's talk the elephant in the room, and I talk about the problems on here. And what I'm just doing here is I'm going to put the Tottenham players on the pitch first. Here's the goal scorer, Harry Kane. These two are the people that work the short corner well. And just look how effortless it really was for Tottenham to score their first goal. They had 3 players, and I'm going to take out every other Leicester player that was irrelevant in the goal, and that is how Leicester set up. That's how Leicester defended a corner, essentially, or the cross into the box. You know what? I'm going to do him justice. Poor Danny Ward can go in goal. And what happened there, let me just sort this arrow out, is this is the finicky part. The ball was played. No, that's supposed to be a line. The ball was played out wide. And whilst Leicester all stood here, this is where the Leicester defence decided to stand when a ball was played short. They decided to group around here like a bunch of groupies at a concert, at a boy band concert. And that left Paul Castagnet marking not one, not two, not three. I know there's confusing numbers, but 3 Tottenham players. And that then meant that unfortunately, Perisic, who crossed the ball, had all that time in the world to ping the ball into Kane. Now, Castagnet's not the tallest bloke in the world. We know that. But what hope in hell has he got when he's caught in the middle, stuck in the middle with you, because he didn't know which one to pick up. Now, yeah, the danger man's Kane. Obviously, we all know that, and that's where the scoring came from. But when you've got 4 defenders not knowing what to do, why isn't Evans there? Why hasn't immediately the second? Why sod the defender being there, right? Why isn't, when the corner was taken? Let me just get rid of these lines if I can. There you go. So the corner was taken, and the edge of the box run short was made to collect the ball. Now instantly, somebody like Evans should be recognising that he's either going to come inside the box or he's going to push out wide, and he should be there. Because what that allows Evans to do is that allow Evans, and this is a bit finicky, bear with me, that allow Evans to prepare for the run in or the run out. No fucking thing. Or the run out. You have to bear with me, it's a bit finicky on a laptop, but that's the 2 directions he can go. And if Evans runs out and preps himself for that, right there, he cuts out both them options. He can go here, cut it out, another corner. There, he can break up the play, and then Leicester can break out forward. Or, I mean, why is James Justin then not running right up oh my God, words come out of my mouth.
Drinking in the morning, it's not good for you,
No, why is he not running forward and getting tight to the corner taker to stop any potential redirection back to the corner taker? Because if he puts pressure on him, right, and he does lay it back to him and he's there, right, he can't cross it then. No, this pen doesn't want to work, even though it was saying it was a pen. He can't cross it in the box easy and get it over to Kane that way. He can't do that. That does not happen if they press. And this is the problem that Leicester have had with all the goals. And, another problem I have, what we used to do is, I'm just going to drag these Tottenham players away, right?
I've lost you, mate. We've gone.
Have you?
Yes.
Can you see me now?
I can see you. I can't see the board. We've lost the board.
Oh, this is shit then. I can't do this. I can't do it. If it's going to do that, I can't do it, mate. It's crap to use. It's finicky. So, can you see it now? Is that better?
No, you need to share it again.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, we won't do this way again, mate. It ain't working. It ain't working for me or you. This is just annoying. I've got it on share.
What about if I get it up at this end? And you tell me what to do. Would that work?
I don't know, mate. Is that working? Stupid screen sharing.
Yeah, let's get it back. Here we go.
Right. What I'm going to do it. Sorry about this, guys. We were trying this out now. I was hoping it'd work a bit better, but unfortunately, my slow laptop and the screen sharing just paused. I don't know why. But let's forget Tottenham for a second. Let's forget their positioning. Piss off. This is a disaster. Sorry, guys. This is a disaster of a tactic board. But there we go. Here's Leicester's marking for a corner. Go away. You're Tottenham. Leicester's marking from a Tottenham, from a set piece is, here's our defence. We'll all stand here. Because all they're waiting for, Chris, all they're waiting for is these Tottenham players to make the runs into the box. They're waiting for, they're tracking any late runs into the box. And do you know what they're not prepared for? Right, up the Alamo. That's what Leicester are defending and expecting Tottenham to do. They're expecting edge of the box players creeping in and around to be there and waiting for these players to charge into the box late and try and get a diving header in. What none of them are preparing for is a Tottenham player getting there, or a Tottenham player getting here, or a Tottenham player getting here. And these two of the goals we conceded were Tottenham players in them areas. I know they'd be offside in this occasion, but just go with the fact that they're not being marked that well, okay? And what the reason they're scoring, the reason that flick on goes in for the second goal, that goal, and the reason Kane scores the first one, there in the near post, is purely because we don't have a man there. And guess what, Chris? I don't know if you guys can guess why I'm going to put number 7 over here. I'm going to put him there at the back post. We don't mark our posts, and that makes poor Danny Ward have the impossible job because he's got to try and track the ball. He's got to keep his eye on the ball at late as possible for the Kane goal. And I'm just gonna remove the lines, and I'm gonna give Danny Ward the analysis of what happens to him. Bless him. Go away. There isn't an easier way to remove these, unfortunately, guys. So you have to deal with me moving them all individually. But when the cross comes in for the first goal, no, stay away when I click off you stupid machine. Right, the ball comes in from the number 2. No, I said the ball, not the person. The ball comes in from the number 2 towards Kane for the first goal, right? Danny Ward can't go here. Danny Ward can't go there. First of all, because he's got a cluster of Leicester defenders in and around that area, so he can't get in their way. But he can't immediately go to his near post and preempt Kane coming in here because he has to watch the ball. He has to wait for any deflections. The defender might get his head on it, and he has to make the latest movement. And by that time, the ball gets to its destination. Kane runs into it. He's there. Danny Ward's there. And he's then got to throw himself at it and hope he saves it, and he doesn't. And it's the same with the second goal. The second goal, Chris, is just as bad because he can't go to the back post for Eric Dyer, who was in pretty much the same position as Kane from their corner. We have nobody in the posts, so he gets a free cross into Dyer, who does what any defender does in that situation. He flicks it on in the hope of putting his back post. Danny Ward can't stand here. Danny Ward can't get there because he hasn't got any safety net. Danny Ward's area of concern is his entire goal from a set piece. And that's not fair on Danny Ward. Danny Ward should have to be worrying about coming and collecting it if it's here. If it's there, Danny Ward's job. If it's in and around that 6-yard box, Danny Ward gets it. If it's in the middle of his goal, Danny Ward gets it. But his front and near posts. Oh, I zoomed in there because this mouse is awful.
No, zoom in. That's better, actually.
Is it? Brilliant. Yeah. His front and near posts are a defender's responsibility. It allows, because we have conceded so many goals from a defender getting the ball, flicking it off the top of his head and going in the back post because we don't have anybody there. If somebody's there, it gets volleyed away. And then guess what? Leicester can press. They can get the ball out. Fast can chase it. Yuri can chase it. And all of a sudden, these players that have been waiting to spring the trap on Tottenham are having to track back and get caught back trying to chase back a Patson Daka. And that is, it's just wrong. It just, Leicester aren't doing that. And if they do that from their set piece, I mean, the American, if you want a set piece coach, buddy, to come along with you, I'll gladly do it. I'm going to skip ahead for the goals. Ndidi, that I'm not going to discuss that goal. That's just pathetic. That's lack of confidence. Ndidi had so much room. The guy was jogging towards him. He had no reason to stutter on the ball. It's just a pathetic goal. We're going to skip past that.
Did he get a shout, do you think, from his team? I mean, I said last night on the post-match show that he should be aware of what's going on around him.
He should be. He's got a brain. He's got eyes.
And when Johnny played that ball to him, nobody was on him. Johnny, that was a sensible pass. He was the one Leicester player that wasn't being marked closely. So, indeed, he should have been more aware of what was going on around him for a player of his experience. But B, should and did other players possibly shout at him and say, "Man on," you know?
Yeah, they should have, and maybe they should have. But again, he's got a brain. He knows what he's doing. He knew he had his back towards goal. He should have known that someone's no doubt. Oh, excuse me. You know, going to try and close him down. And now the problem I'm going to show you here, guys, isn't a problem with the goals. It's a problem with what happens to Leicester when they are up against it. And it's happened all season. And, oh, for God's sake, you have to ignore lines. It's doing me head in. Right? Leicester line up as a back four like this. This is how Leicester usually line up. And I'm going to quickly, as quick as I can, bear in mind, bugger these Spurs players off because they're antagonisers on the bench. Leicester line up like this. Usually, if I can quickly throw it together, I'm just going to do the midfield. I'm not going to worry about the strikers. So, whatever, Stu. This isn't going to work next time around, mate. We'll figure something else out. But for now, that's Leicester's midfield and defence. That's how they line up, and that's how they start the process of that high line press. You know, that would normally, you know, these guys here up until about the centre, up until about Vaz and Johnny Evans would normally progress to about there. In the attack, them four players, these four players here that you can see me going around with this magic pen, would high line press all the way up until about halfway into Tottenham's half. That cost us later on, but the game was already lost, so I can kind of understand the bad positioning and being caught outnumbered. This is what concerns me, and it's Brendan's switch in tactics. When we're 1-0 up or 2-1 up, or we're fighting for our lives to try and hold on to a point, what happens is he makes it their job to focus on this little instrument down here. This thing, it's called a football, that sometimes Leicester players are scared of. And they're so scared to protect this man in the goal and stop what they're trying to do is that they get it into their head that they've got to get the Great Wall of China to stop this ball going in the net. And what that allows Spurs, and every team has done it to us this season, is confidence. I don't know. They go into ball watching mode. And it's the worst thing you can do as a side. You always get told as kids, stop ball watching, react to what you're seeing. And these, you know, I can't do maths at the moment. I'm not Brendan Rodgers. My head's, I've got these 8 players do this. This is when Tottenham come at us. I'm going to put them in their positions now. This is Castagne. This is Justin. That's Fout. That's Evans. That's Ndidi, Samore, whoever was on at that point. This is Kieran Dewsbury Hall. This is Yuri Tillemans, and this is James Maddison. Now, we claim to be footballing fans and experts here, and I'm no tactician or things. But does anybody else see the problem with us defending so deep? Does anyone see the problem with having poor Daka? Oh my God, that was supposed to be a player. Does anyone else? What the fuck are you doing? Oh, it won't let me stop. I'm going to have to use a different colour. But does anyone else see the problem with having 9 players in and around our own box and leaving the other 2 players so far out of sight that they've changed colour? That's not my fault. The app just gone weird on me now. I don't know what's going on.
We'll have a chat afterwards about it. Don't worry about it. To me, there's nobody in between. There's no link between our players.
Exactly. We've got this giant open space, like you just said there, Chris, with not a single blue shirt or a weirdly green coloured shirt as it is up front. You know, to pass to. We haven't got anybody to break out to. Now, in the first half, Danny Ward and Faz were playing killer balls out wide to the wing backs, and Leicester were practically either just about to go into their half or already in their half. Oh, that wasn't a case at 3-2. Leicester was so deep and so worried about that ball, and I'll try and get rid of the other line there. There you go. So worried about that ball going from there to there. Spurs, let me show you how Spurs were. Spurs had a player there. Had a player. Oh, we'll put a player on the ball because it's nice for the ball to not get left out of the scenario.
That is a Spurs player, not a Leicester player, I guess.
Yeah, it's the white player. Yeah, so the white
No,
is.
I'm being sarcastic there because Leicester were never on the ball.
I know, yeah, but again, they weren't allowed the ball because they actually didn't allow themselves to have the ball. And I do apologise. I wish I could show you this in an even better way than I'm explaining it. But this is how every other team, Brentford, Southampton, Brighton, when Leicester had either the initiative or were trying to defend for their lives to not lose a game at 2-2, this is how the whole entire game played out to that point until it was capitulation FC at 4-2 in this case. They had everybody ready and they could have, if this was, they could have gone here, there with it. They wouldn't have been under any pressure. They weren't ever going to be under any pressure. They could have done this for 25 minutes and then had a shot. And the thing is, right, this is what I want to criticise. I'm going to use the number 7 as example. So follow me. Come on, Keith. You're on the 7. Where's the 7? No, it's not a magic show. But Son, for his goal, was here. And I'm just going to move him back because he's actually too far forward for Leicester's liking. Just concentrate on 7. Forget everybody else. Let's move them a bit out of his way. No, I'm supposed to be moving the ball. We won't be using this again, Chris, because I'm getting ratty arse using it here. What's the issue do you see here? If I tell you Son has this ball for 30 seconds before he skillfully bent it into the top corner. If I told you 30 seconds and blue players don't move, what's the first thing you would say they need to do to correct that and stop that from happening?
They need to close him down.
Yeah, and they don't. And the more you watch the game, Chris, they never close him down. They haven't closed down a single goal scorer who scored a goal from the edge of our box. Guess what? Son on this side of things. Guess what? He had a shot. It went in that corner. Yeah, come on, Mr. Ball. You're lagging. You need to go there. Again, you're too far forward. You were defending deeper. You weren't even in the frame. Would you say it was A, the same problem that nobody closed him down, or B, was there a different problem?
Same problem.
Yeah, and that is what Brendan is saying. And this is where it becomes Brendan's problem. And this is where you have to factor in confidence and frailty because they are ball watching. The reason they are so deep and the reason that nobody's going out to them is because they are scared and afraid to make a mistake, which then opens up the goal even more. And they are so concerned about trying to make a force field on a wall to protect Danny Ward that all you're doing is you're allowing someone of the quality of Heung-min Son, you're allowing someone of the quality of Arsenal players like Jesus and all them players that have done so past this season, the ability to shape their body, look at the goal, get their foot behind it and strike it. As you could not ask Son to have had 2 goals more perfectly defended than the way he wanted to. No pressure, all the time in the world. He gets to shape it, line it up, think about it, and then execute it. And that's what quality players will do. The reason them arrows are in the corner of the goal is because that's where he put it. And I tell you what, James Maddison on a training ground pitch, he would love that scenario. He would love to see 8 players in their own box trying to stop him and letting him have all the room to run at. Infamous goals. Look at Yuri Tillemans' goal in the FA Cup. Given the freedom of Wembley, scored a fantastic goal. Kieran Dewsbury Hall against Brentford, given the freedom of the park, scored a fantastic goal. The season before, same opposition, Dewsbury Hall, given the freedom of the park, fantastic goal. Maddison, fantastic goal. These players score these goals when they're given this sort of defence in front of them. And that is what, for the majority, costs Leicester goals. And this is the biggest mistake, right, we need to stop doing. Because when it's going well, or we're still in the game, Chris, these players are spread out. These players are on the front foot. When it's not, this is how Leicester play. And this is why teams batter us. Because, look at these. What? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 white shirts on my pitch here, right? And not a single one of them is in fear of losing the ball. Because They're either in the box or they're, you know, tweedledee and tweedledum because they're in the wrong colour kit. They came out with a third kit, bless them. You know, they're in Tottenham's off going, hey, up the race, how you doing, mate? This is a great game, this, for you lot, isn't it? No, we're on the pitch, but we're not actually involved in the next 20 minutes because you're going to be bombarding our goal. And that's pretty much what happened. And it happened against Brentford. It happened against Southampton. It happened against Manchester United when they were 1-0 up. It even happened to Chelsea, who were down to 10 men. The only difference between them games and Brighton in this game is desperation came in. Desperation of our situation, desperation of being on 1 point, desperate to get a result, desperate to get 3 points. And that desperity led to the ease of the sixth goal. And I'm not going to critique the defence for it. No. I'm not going to critique it because they were stretched. You had Evans and Fass and then every single other Leicester player when it was, you know, just as J-Lo once said, I think it was, might have got the singer wrong, it was all just a little too late. You know, you got a lead, you know, it was all a little too late at 4-2 because they were so committed in the ball that all the Leicester players stopped. They stood still. They dropped their heads. When Spurs broke up the play and gave the ball, poor Evans and Fass were like, hello, can you say, you know, like being lost at sea. They were hoping for a boat to see them waving their hands in the air. Yeah. And that's what led to the goal. I'm going to leave the tactical summary there because I'm having difficulty with it. It's not running as smooth as I was hoping to have got there.
No, yeah, we'll stay on and we'll have a very brief chat afterwards. I've got a watch along coming up this afternoon for the Leicester women, which is actually against Tottenham, wouldn't you know? Yeah. I'm going to say last question. If you were top, 2 weeks off now, would you make that decision now?
I would already be expecting Fabrizio Romero to tweet that the board are having emergency meetings. Because if I was in charge, I would have let him sleep it off like a dirty hangover, and I'd have called him into my office 8 a.m. and I'd have been sitting there going, tell me why you should still be the manager of this club. Because if I don't get the answer I'm looking for, then I'm going to have to let you go.
Well, Gray says get rid now. Rennie says yes, of course.
Yeah, I think that would be the outcome. But as a businessman, you have to allow your employee a stay of execution and say, well, if you can't convince me, I'm going to sack you. Yeah. So convince me not to, in a way.
I've had the splinters up my backside, as you know, for 7 games now. I don't think he can change it. I think, you know, it's not just been that. I said, let's give him this season. He had it last season. The injuries, I think, masked a lot of mistakes. But, you know, fair enough. You know, we did have those. This season, I said, let's see how we go. I worried if we leave it any longer that we will get cut adrift at the bottom and there's winnable games, we won't be winning. Well,
if you want any hope for a new manager, maybe Brentford fans want their manager out because they are currently 2-0 down to Arsenal.
Yeah. And as Doug said there, Wolves want to speak to Bruno Lager about recent results. You know, we will see. Brad, thank you very much, mate. You did as best as you could. Like I say, we'll have a quick chat after, and I will see you. Well, probably sometime next week, but we haven't got a game, so I'm trying to get a couple of people on to have a chat, but we will see how that goes. Right, take care. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you afterwards. And obviously, we know when the games are coming up, and we'll be talking then.
Yeah, take no worries. Apologies to anybody that couldn't understand that tactics from that board. I do apologize.
I think it worked. It worked fine. Okay, mate. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, later.
Cheers. Thanks a lot to Brad there. It is a new system. It will take a bit of getting used to. But I think I think if we were winning, that wouldn't have felt so bad doing that. I think that's the thing. Do you know what? I will be back, as I say, at 2:00, ready for the 2:30. Well, 2:00, maybe 2:15 for the 2:30 kickoff in the Women's Super League. We face Tottenham. We're at home to Tottenham. And so I'm not really looking forward to it, but hey ho. Thanks very much, Gray. Gray says great show. And did you enjoy the tactic board? We need to sort of obviously have a little play. That was the first time. But how did you feel about that? And don't forget, if you do like a bit of a laugh and a joke and a bit of music, the ultimate blend of sport and music, it's Leicester Till I Die Radio, mixcloud.com/LTID radio, as it says below at the bottom there on the banner. Or you can go on to www.leicestertillidie.com/radio and find the link from there. We'll see you. If not, we're not doing any shows tomorrow out of respect. And on Tuesday, I'm on Man United fans channel, Munsey Talks. And then we've got a quiz on Wednesday. But that's it. That's it. And for some reason, I've highlighted my doctor's appointment as if I'm doing a show. So I might be doing a show there from the doctor's surgery. Euthanasia, he may say. he may take sympathy on me. All right, guys, thanks very much. Take care. See you in a bit. And remember, don't do anything that I wouldn't enjoy. Yeah, maybe not. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
This week's episode has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think